Hello and welcome to another What Sold video. This is everything that sold for me at the end of 2023. So that is December 22nd to December 31st. And we're gonna start with Poshmark. This box is gonna get moved a little bit over here so I can show you a Poshmark sale, because I actually had a Poshmark sale. I think it hurt me that I was getting very frustrated with it and was considering not doing Poshmark anymore. And so it gifted me a sale there at the end, and this is actually a pair of vintage pieces. These are both from the big vintage buyout that I did, and both of these were Pendleton pieces. Country Sophisticates was a line, I don't know if it's still a line, but it was a line in the 80s and 90s for Pendleton, and it was supposed to be like a more mature part of Pendleton, and these had like little scarf. You can see here that I needed to do some work with them in order to get them to sell, because, you know, that's not really a style that we see modern in modern clothing. And so I had to take stylized shots to show how do you use this dangly bit on the front of the shirt. And when I did that, they sold, they both sold to the same person. You can see here that someone made a bundle for themselves and just bought it outright. I do have it where if you pick 2 items from my closet, automatically you get 15% off. So they did that and bought both, which is great. And so the total price was $30.60, and then of course Poshmark had to take their fee out. But this was amazing, again, because pure profit at this point from that big vintage buyout for me. And now we're gonna go over to eBay, because eBay is my main bay, and then we're all gonna see Miss Moxie, who is everybody's main bay. Of course, she's not gonna look at you guys, she's just gonna look down at the ground because she doesn't want you guys to see her face for some reason. Hi, baby. Here we go. There she is. Hello. I think that this is a viewer sale. So Andrew, thank you very much for buying this from me. It is The Rise of the Dragon, which is an illustrated coffee table book that I picked up at a buyout location at a buyout store. So this is retail arbitrage. I originally paid $8 for the book, and Andrew accepted my offer. I sent off, I think, 10% offers to washers, and they accepted it for $17.88. And I believe the reason they accepted it is they asked if it was a first edition or not. And they forced me to have to figure out where it was, because it wasn't where it normally is. Normally when you want to figure out what edition a book is, it says it on the title page, or on the back of the title page with the publishing information, but it was not in this one. It was actually in the back of the book. And this was also a first edition book, which I did not know. So I only have one of these left. So this was a great buy. This is a pair of Gap jeans. These are men's 3330s. This is the Y2K distressed look, which is why I picked them up, because they're the loose straight. Sold for $14, and the buyer paid padded flat rate shipping. This is a first edition copy of Inca Gold by Clive Cussler, and I picked this up at the bins. I paid 50 cents for this. A lot of the Amazon FBA sellers, they just scan the books and don't bother to check what edition it is. I do, especially, oh look, I left my blue light glasses here on my shirt that I used when I was listing. It sold for $9.87, so saved a book from going into the landfill, and also got $5 for my efforts. So happy to keep as many books out of the landfill as possible. Another book I got out of the bins, this is The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. It is a hardcover edition of it, and it sold for $8.50. So again, I paid 50 cents for this, so I made like $3 or $4 from it. I like buying and selling books. They're fast and easy for me as far as listing them goes. And speaking of books, I sold this Andrew Jackson book. This I got at that big book buyout where I got a whole bunch of brand new books because a bookstore went out of business and they donated everything to the restore. So I have 10 cents into this book and sold it for $10. So again, another easy like $6 to $7 there. So the next item is something I picked up for Thriftmas. It was a New with Tags Quicksilver like UPF t-shirt in a size extra large. And Arthur, I don't know if you are a viewer or not. If you are, thank you. This person has never sent me a message either here or on YouTube or in my messages, either on Instagram or on eBay. But this individual keeps buying stuff from me, and they live really close to me. So Arthur, if you are a viewer, thank you very much for continuing to purchase from me. He also bought something today from me as well. So he's bought like 4 things from me at this point, and I guess he just follows my store. I don't know. When I get this many orders from one account and like I repeatedly get orders from them, I feel like it's a viewer, but I'm not 100% sure. So Arthur, if you are a viewer, thank you very much. If not, still thank you very much. That was a very quick sale because, you know, I'm trying to get all of my Thriftmas stuff listed now. This is something I picked up when I went shopping at Diversity with Melissa. It is a pair of H.J. Stoder plastic tumblers from the 70s, and whenever it's green, so of course I was drawn to it. I paid $1 for them. They sold for $8 and the buyer paid $10 to ship them, so this was a great sale for me. Again, super easy listing. This was also, I believe, another Thriftmas pickup. This is a pair of Adriana Goldschmied Protege straight leg jeans. They were size 36, 32s. They're men's jeans. These sold like almost as soon as I listed them, for $31.38. So this was a great pickup for me. This is one of those instances where I will pay the $9 for a pair of jeans just because I knew that these would flip quickly. This is another Thriftmas pickup, I think. This is a Sundance catalog. I think this was Thriftmas. I don't know. My months have kind of moved all together. Sundance catalog piece, a size large. Bought it for my full asking price of $21.87. I paid $6.25 for this at a thrift store. This is a set of Redwall books. Redwall is one of my favorite series. It is by Brian Jacques. It's a bunch of anthropomorphic animals. Depending on who you talk to, it's either fantasy or it's YA fantasy. I feel like it's just fantasy. I think it's because of the fact that it has anthropomorphic animals. They like put it in as juvenile fiction, but it's like, you know, technically Harry Potter is YA, but I don't feel like that because of the content and the thickness. It doesn't matter. I actually offered each one of these books individually up on Whatnot because that's where I sell most of my science fiction and fantasy books, and nobody bought them from me, and all these were like different auctions. Nobody bought them, and so I just lotted them all up together when I got enough of them and put them up on eBay, and they sold. So that is something that I do is if I try to get complete trilogies if I'm going to put it up on eBay, or if it's a bunch of books from the same author in the same series. Now these Redwall books from Brian Jacques, you don't have to read them like 1 to 15 or whatever. You can just read them out of order. They're all like standalone books, but they're all set in the same world. It's a great series. I highly recommend it. This is a Peruvian Connection dress. I pick up Peruvian Connection whenever I find them. It doesn't have to be just the wool or the alpaca. The cotton will also sell as well. This sold for my full asking price of $39.87, and I paid $8 for this at a thrift store. Karen is putting in the work, making sure that I keep her around, and I am considering getting a Kevin this year. This is another Thriftmas pickup. This is from the first Thriftmas video. I could not believe I found this at, I couldn't believe I found a Huckberry brand at this thrift store. It's a small thrift store called Village Thrift across from C&U. Sold for $32 within a month of me, like within a couple weeks of me listing it. 72 is a base layer brand, and they are sold at Huckberry. Huckberry is an outdoor wear, I guess. It's a high-end outdoor wear conglomerate that sells this kind of stuff. But first time finding the brand, amazing sale. Excuse me, already got positive feedback. Super happy with this. All right, this is a massive, massive sale, and you're gonna see in a couple of the slides that I show you that it says refunded, and that is because this person, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, yeah, this person bought 12 pieces of vintage clothing from me, and they sent me a whole bunch of offers. I'm guessing because they thought that they were gonna have to pay all of the shipping individually, which they did because they had a card on file. So normally when I accept a whole bunch of, when I see someone send me a whole bunch of offers, my belief is that they're sending me all these and then they're gonna check out when I send them an invoice to change the shipping. But they apparently just thought that they were gonna have to pay the shipping, and which is why they sent me lower offers. But a lot of the items that they sent me offers for were really old items, and so I was more than happy to just get them out. So the refunded there is because I'm still going to refund them the difference of the shipping, because that is how I run my business. You know, they paid almost $60 in shipping, and it didn't cost me $60 to ship a 12 by 12 by 8 USPS box with all of these clothes in it. So I refunded them a lot of the shipping. Even with the shipping refund, it was a significant amount of money. So it is this vintage 80s Breckenridge piece. Again, another piece from most of this stuff is from the big vintage buyout. So most of this stuff also had a zero buy cost. So I was just like, sure, take it, have all of it. Which is also why I accepted lower offers. One, I had it for a while, and two, the cost of goods was negligible. So this Breckenridge top from the vintage buyout, the Pendleton blazer was from the buyout, the 90s to 70s was from the buyout, the 70s piece, this men's piece, was actually from an estate sale. So I paid like $2 for this. But the 70s personal piece from the big vintage buyout, this 90s piece, I actually did buy it at a thrift store. So this one was $6. And the scarf, you know, that was like a freebie. They just gave them to me when I was buying a whole bunch of clothes. The 70s piece was also from the big vintage buyout, so that was a $0 thing. The Sag Harbor piece I picked up at an estate sale, so that was a $2 item. And then the 70s piece was also from another estate sale, so that was $2. The Lisport piece here, this vest, I actually got that at the bins, so 50 cents. And this 70s piece was also from that same estate sale that the other one was from, so that was also $2. So the total order was $134. I had probably $15 or less into this. So 15 and 134, pretty great. And I moved a whole bunch of older inventory out of my house, which is even better. The next sale is a pair of Pisco pants. Whenever I go to the bins, I always pop into the retail location next door just to see if maybe there's something there. I only do like a once through and check the new racks. And I happened to get there when they put out they pulled out an entire new rack of just men's figs. I guess somebody either got out of the medical profession or what. But it was a whole bunch of men's size large figs in like a variety of colors. This is the royal blue Pisco pants. I paid $6 for these and they sold for $18. A pair of Everlanes. These were the easy pull on pants and they sold for $26. I paid, I believe, $8 for these at a thrift store. Another book from the big book buyout, so I have 10 cents into this book and it sold for $14.87. Now this is my full asking price and it's also free shipping. It cost $3.82 to ship this book. So I turned 10 cents into $10, and again, I love these quick and easy listings. This is a Grease Lightning book. I picked this up for 25 cents at the bins. Again, a vintage book I didn't want to see end up in the landfill. Sold it for $6, paid $3.82, so I made, you know, $1.50 off of this book. But again, that's what's important to me. It's an easy listing and keeps my store active, and I don't see these beautiful books go in the landfill. This was a pair of books, and I guess one of these accidentally had shipping on them. I think maybe I forgot to click the free shipping button somehow, which it happens because you're supposed to like offer free shipping and you click the button. I guess I just didn't do that for one of these books because it should have been free shipping. So it's two new books, again from that big book buyout. So I have 20 cents in these books and sold both of them to the same person for $22.74, and then they ended up paying the shipping costs, which was even better. So this is great. I love this. That was awesome. This is another vintage piece from the big buyout, so I have nothing into this now. Sold for my full asking price of $19.87. Again, Karen more than paying for herself here. This is also from the big vintage buyout. It's $7.87, my full asking price. That's why I pick up these vintage scarves, because they don't really sell for a whole lot, but they do sell. So if I can find them at the bins, that's why lightweight scarves, happy to pick them up if they're in good shape. This is another Henrik Bull book, again from that big buyout. So I have 10 cents into this, sold for my full asking price of $12.87. Another book I have bought and sold, this first printing paperback by Mark Halperin, probably 3 times now. So whenever I find a mass market first edition paperback of Winter's Tale, I always buy it because it always sells. I found this for 50 cents at a thrift store. Perfectly happy to pick this up because I just keep selling it. This is another book I offered up on Whatnot and nobody bought it, so I sold it on eBay for $6.87, my full asking price. It was brand new, so I made, you know, $1.50 off of this, which is fine by me. This next one is another book, Heliconia Summer by Brian Aldiss. Heliconia Spring is the first book and Heliconia Winter is the third book. There is no Heliconia Summer, which feels incomplete, doesn't it? It does. It feels weird, but there's only 3 books. But I ended up selling the other 2 books in a separate auction because I didn't realize I had the whole set because this was a big book buyout, another one of the massive book buyouts I did this year. So this one did not sell on Whatnot, so I offered it up on eBay and it sold for my full asking price of $5.87. This is a FootJoy piece, XL. I like picking up FootJoy. It doesn't sell for a whole lot, as you can see, but it does sell consistently for me, especially anything large or above in sizing. Sold for $14. I paid, I believe, $5 for this at a thrift store. So this is Redemption of Althus. This is the main cover of this book. There is an alternative cover of this exact same book that's like blue and it has like what looks like an angel on it. Find that cover is worth like $25 to $30, but because this one is, I guess, the more common one or the original one, this one was only worth $14.87, again with free shipping, but it is the first American edition. If you get like the first British edition, that's a little bit worth more, but this is the first American edition. But I picked this up at a thrift store for $1. Hooray. This is a viewer sale. Janice, thank you so much. My viewers are the only ones that take advantage of my buy 3 books, get 1 free. So Janice bought a copy of Great Jones Street by Don DeLillo, who is a sports writer. They write a lot of fiction about sports. What I Saw, Reports from Berlin, which is a travelogue from Joseph Roth. I believe this is when he was in Germany after the First World War ended until the, you know, the rise of the Nazis party in the 30s by Joseph Roth. All of these books came from that big book buyout, so I have 40 cents into these books. So Janice, again, thank you very much. This was a great sale. The Fifth Queen by Ford Maddox Ford, and When We Were Orphans by Kazuo Ishiguro. I don't know how to say that name. But so Janice, thank you. This was an amazing sale, and I super appreciate you giving all these books another home. That means a lot to me. It also means a lot to me that you actually did the buy 3 get 1 free, because y'all are the only ones doing it for some reason. I love how someone just needed to find 1 more book and they could have gotten another book for free, but that's okay. So Janice, thank you very much. Andrew, thank you very much. And Arthur, if you are a viewer, thank you very much. And that is everything that sold for me at the end of the year. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye. Bye. This is a first edition Clive Cluss. This is a first edition copy of Inca Gold by Clive Clusser. I cannot say this man's name.